Hi, this is David, DDMWorks. Today we're going to be doing a center console installation with our new dual cup holder center consoles. There's a couple improvements over the stock center console, and that obviously has two cup holders in it. Also, the center port here is a little bit raised over what the stock one is, which gives you a little bit more comfortable driving position when you're driving. This right here actually was a center console removed from his, and one of the things that has become very common with these center consoles that has been taken care of with our center console also is if you can see on the center console, you'll see where this center console has been stressed at several points all around here. And what that does is that later on that starts leading to cracking, and you start seeing this thing starting to crack right here in the center, and that cracking eventually causes this whole center console to just crack and kind of fade away on you. To get started with it, we're going to remove the stock center console first. To do that, what you want to do is pull the emergency brake up as far as you can like that. And then it's pretty simple. What you're going to do is you're going to pull up from the back of the stock center console, and you're going to get your fingers underneath the back side here, and when you pull up, you'll feel it pop. And once it pops up like that, you're going to pull back from the front and be able to lift the stock piece out. Okay, now that we've removed the stock center console, to do a little bit more prep work before we can install the new center console, we're going to need to move this wiring harness over just a little bit, because the cup holders are going to sit right about where this harness is located right now. So to do that, what we're going to do is there's a ground bolt right there. Using a 10mm wrench, you're going to go on top of that and go ahead and just loosen this up. And once you remove this nut from here, just set that aside. Pull these two ground straps off. And once those are removed, you're going to transfer this over to the other side of that nut. Tuck these grounds back underneath. Like so. And then put the nut back on top. Some cars are a little tighter with the wiring harness than others. We just want clear enough room for the cup holders to sit in, that's going to be enough right there. Once you get this moved over just a little bit like that, go ahead and tighten that nut back down. Once those grounds are secure down there, we've supplied two pieces of plastic conduit covers, and what we're going to do with those is we're going to put those over areas where it may rub. I mean, this wiring is really close to there, so we're going to put a piece over that. And also, if you look back here, this wiring gets real close to this right here, so we're going to put a piece over this and this. Okay, so what we've done is that we put the plastic over the two points of contact that we won't worry about, which is this ground bolt right here, and also this mounting point right here. And we put the plastic over top of the wiring loom in both places, and then what we used a little electrical tape to wrap around there just so it's going to hold it in place real good. And everything's nice and secure, that way long term it's not going to rub into any of the wiring. And then the next thing what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to need to remove these three tabs from the stock center console. Underneath you'll see that there's two clips that were in the back, and that's what was holding it in there. And then there's one clip up in the front that was holding it in up there. So we're going to need to remove those clips and transfer them over to the new center console. Okay, now to remove these three clips, the easiest way is to find a real small little blade screwdriver like this. And what's going to happen is that you're going to be able to push right in between there, like that, and slightly start prying with it. And what you'll do is you'll get it to kind of pop off like that, and just walk it off, and you get that clip off. And then just keep doing that for all three of the clips that are on there. Takes a little bit of practice, but they'll pop up just like that. And we just have the one on the front. Get in there. This one's a little trickier because it's got a little bit of heavier teeth on it, but it'll walk off also. And just like that, they all come off. Those are the three clips. Once you get those three clips off that, you're done with the stock center console. We won't need anything else for that, so you can set it aside. So we have the three clips that we're going to be installing on the new center console, and we're going to need to modify them just slightly so that we can use them on the center console. when you look at these clips, you'll see that there's little teeth on the inside. There's 2 rows, 2 in the back, 2 in the front. And what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to remove the 2 in the front. We're going to need to remove those little clips off of there. And we're going to do that by using a needle nose pliers. And you're just going to go in there with needle nose pliers. And all you do is you're just going to bend those little teeth down so that they're flat. And it just takes a little second there, a little patience with it. And they'll just bend flat like that. And I'll get the inside one. And you're just going to need to do that on the 2 front clips that mount onto the center console. Alright, so what we're going to do is we've modified those clips now, and we're going to install them onto the back of the center console. There's 2 aluminum brackets that stick up back in the back, and what we're going to do is we're going to take the modified ones and they just push on to the back like that. You just want to make sure they sit all the way down, and that'll be both of those there. Then we're also going to need to put the one on the front. Okay, so we push the 2 on the back, and they're seated down all the way onto those tabs. And then also the front one has been pushed down and is ready to be installed also. You may find on the front one the little teeth, you may need to adjust those just a little bit to get this to push down and lock on without coming off. That's sometimes normal with that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start test fitting this piece. But in order to do so, you'll look that these 2 back tabs back here are slightly angled in on both sides. This is an adjustment that has to be made individually per car, and so what you'll find is that you're going to need to adjust these in order to install the center console. They're pointing in. What you'll find is that you'll need to start with them slightly pointing up, so you'll use a pair of needle nose pliers like this, and you'll want to come in and grab it from the very base down here and just give a slight bend to it. When you're doing this, you'll hear a little bit of a cracking, and that's just the top layer of the fiberglass here. The resin actually cracking just a little bit. It doesn't affect the strength of it at all, and you just want to give it just a little bit of a bend and twist to it, like that. And what you'll get them to be pretty straight up like that. And what you want to do is you're going to need to test fit it. You're going to need to put it down into place, see if it locks down. If it does, you're good. If not, you just kind of have to look up from the back here of the car and see how it needs to be adjusted. You may need to do it 2 or 3 times to get it to really sit down correctly. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to start test fitting our center console onto there. We have the clips on there, and what I've done is I've actually adjusted these just a little bit so that the clip isn't seated all the way down, sticking up about 1/4 inch on each side, and also in the front. And then also what you want to do is you can push out your cup holders from the back side there, and remove those, because that will allow you to kind of see a little bit as far as if you're having any obstructions or hitting any wire or anything like that underneath. What you're going to do is slide this in the back, come down, and you can actually look through this cup holder and see the front clip line up, and you go ahead and get that in there. And then we're going to just lower the back down, and then what you're going to do is you're just going to give a nice solid thud and see if it locks down into place. And what you're going to be looking for is you're looking for that there's basically, it should fit up real nice and tight there, and also in the front. And that one actually locked down pretty good right there, so we're going to be good. If there's a little bit of gap up here in the front right now, that's okay. We're still going to put the cup holders in, which will position this where it needs to go. This is fitting up pretty good right there, though, like that. Alright, so we have the center console down in place, and what we're going to do is secure the cup holders in place to help lock this into position. And what you'll find is your kit, there's 2 different screws that are in the kit. One of them has a flathead, one has a kind of rounded top. And what we're going to use, the flathead has a little bit, what's called a self-tapping screw on it. And so we're going to use that to drill the holes for these right here. And using the drill, go in and we use the inner. There's 4 holes in the bottom of the cup holder, and so what we use, you can use any of them, but typically you use the one on the inside right here. There's nothing also underneath the floor that you're going to be drilling through that you have to worry about on the other side to go into. So using your drill, just go in, use the Phillips bit on the far inside one there, and at the same time you want to hold the whole center console as far forward as you can. And once that hole's drilled, then you can remove that screw, and you're going to put the other screw in place of it. So we drilled those both, and now we're just using the screws to go down through there and hold them down into place. Okay, so that completes the installation of the center console. We have our 2 screws down through the cup holders here to lock that all down in place on this side. One thing you want to do is that afterwards you want to check the operation of your parking brake here. Make sure that it's not rubbing or lifting the console in any way. If it is, what we typically have seen is that that means that the back is not mounted correctly. So you're going to need to play with your adjustment on the back to get the back end to adjust properly. Once the back end's in correctly, the parking brake will operate correctly. So if you're having an issue with anything with the parking brake, check your alignment on the back. You're probably going to make a small adjustment there to get this to all work correctly. On this particular car, what we did is that we did an optional little installation with it, is that in your kit you'll find that there's an extra screw that we've included with it, that the screws that go down through the cup holders. And if you have an issue where on this particular car we had a lot more gap on this right hand side here, what you can do is drill a small little pilot hole down through the cup holder itself, and then put one more screw down through here. It locks that all down in place, gives a good seam, and it ends up being hidden by the parking brake when it's lowered down anyway. So that completes the installation of the dual cup holder. As you can see, people that have questions with the manual cars, you have plenty of room to be able to use the manual still with the cup holders there, and gives a much better resting position for your arm while you're driving also. Once again, that completes the installation of the cup holder. If you have any questions, you can email them over to sales@ddmworks.com, or you can give us a call at area code 864-438-4949. Thanks again for watching these instructions. We look forward to helping you out in the future, and have a great day. Good to give Rookie a couple things.
Okay, he's getting one now.
He's getting the next one right now, Rookie.
Yes.
Okay, so what we've done is that we put the plastic around both wires. What?